Nagbabalik at nagpapatuloy ang inyong Philippines Football League brought to you by Qatar Airways. Welcome po sa lalawigan ng Cavite, dito po sa lungsod ng Imus, here inside the City of Imus Grandstand, the home stadium of Mendiola FC 1991 as they host the league leaders, the powerhouse Kaya FC-Iloilo. That is our match at hand here in Imus, as we have not just one but two matches kicking off simultaneously in just a short while. But first, let's take a look, of course, at the league standings and see where we left off, as it is the second half of the season. Kaya FC-Iloilo still on top of the league table. 10 wins against 3 losses, 30 points in total. Although you may notice that Cebu, Dynamic Herb Cebu FC, just right behind with 24 points after a 3-2 win against Kaya. Kaya eager to bounce back from that defeat, and they are going to perhaps have a more offensive-minded flow against Mendiola FC 1991. As we take a look at the starting rosters for both teams, unahin na natin ang home team. It is Mendiola FC 1991. Michael Asong is of course back, the prized shot stopper coming from Stallion Laguna FC. Mendiola making the most out of that transfer window as they welcome back Michael Asong. He is joined by the likes of Junior Sam, Serge Caule. We have Jemson Cristal up front with Louis Joshua Polinag. You have Kenneth Payosalan. Jim Ashley Flores, the designated team captain, as usual, will be one of the focal points of the attack. Meanwhile, sa kabilang dako, Kaya FC-Iloilo, of course, will look to bounce back, and they will have 4 forwards as part of the starting roster. Take a look at Eric Giganto, Jan Melisa, Daiso Horikoshi, and Milad Begandom, who has been elevated to the starting roster. It's going to be such an offensive display for Kaya. That's what they're expecting to do. And we will have more of the action as well as the march in and introductions, and of course kick-off when we return. So keep it here at the City of Imus Grandstand. This is the PFL brought to you by Qatar Airways. As we take a look at the ceremonial handshake, once again, Mendiola FC 1991 in their familiar black and red uniforms going up against Kaya FC in their yellow and white. Mendiola FC with their first home match, their first match of the year. As we continue the opening weekend of the second half of the Philippines Football League 2023 season. And there you have it. The starters are now ready to take on the field. Mendiola FC on the left and Kaya FC, the visitors, trying to bounce back from that loss against Cebu last week. Once again, coming to you live from the City of Imus Grandstand here in Cavite. A beautiful Sunday afternoon from just a few miles south of Metro Manila. And of course, Jim Ashley Flores will be joined by Zach Banzon, who has the captain's armband for Kaya FC-Iloilo. Coming off the bench for Kaya is, of course, the likes of Kenry Balobo, Jovin Bedic, and even Harvey Gayoso. They are perhaps short-handed right now with just 16 active players in the roster. But nevertheless, they are ready to give Mendiola FC 1991 all the fits. We are about to get underway here dito po sa Imus. Our referee for this match is Raymart De Los Santos, joined by our two assistant referees, Paul Galicia and Ryan Flores. The fourth official is John Mike Basinang. Referee assessor is Alan Martinez. And of course, your match commissioner is Mark Ian Baldo. Doon naman sa Binyan, Laguna, we have Dynamic Herb Cebu FC trying to close that gap as they visit Stallion Laguna FC. Also kicking off at 4 in the afternoon, we have two simultaneous matches coming your way as part of this Sunday doubleheader. And in just a short while, we have Mendiola FC once again in the black and red and Kaya FC-Iloilo in the yellow and white. Glad to have you join us for this live presentation for our Facebook and YouTube accounts. Go ahead and follow us, subscribe. Philippines Football League, brought to you by Qatar Airways. Mendiola FC is set to play from left to right, and in contrast, Kaya FC-Iloilo right to left to open the first half. And of course, in just a few moments, on the signal of our referee, Raymart De Los Santos, we are about to start. Kaya FC-Iloilo still leading the league with 10 wins and 30 points. They would like to add more cushion, more distance between themselves and Dynamic Herb Cebu FC. As of course, United City FC, after pulling out of the competition, it's perhaps a two-team race for supremacy. Stallion Laguna not far behind. They've made their changes, and they will start their campaign towards perhaps a better record. It is going to be an interesting adjustment here for Kaya FC-Iloilo after that 3-2 loss to Dynamic Herb Cebu last week. And here we go. We have kicked off once again from the City of Imus in Cavite. It is Levi Verora on the call. Kaya FC-Iloilo, the traditional powerhouse, favored to win the title this year. But as they know, it is just one match at a time for Coach Yu Hoshide. And it starts here as they try to bounce back. Odi Menzi gets the first touch. So interesting here for Kaya. Again, one of their foreign players, Milad Bergandom, makes the start. He made his debut off the bench in Iloilo when they played at home. As Menzi will give it to Zach Banson. Ashley Flores for a moment on rushing. We have a good-sized crowd here inside the City of Imus Grandstand, just enjoying an afternoon of football. Making the most out of their free time. Kaya on the offensive early on. on the through ball, tries to connect. And that gives us a good look at Mike Asong, the returning Michael Asong, of course, the shot stopper for Mendiola FC 1991. Making first contact with that ball. Again, transferring from Stallion Laguna FC, he's made his mark for the men in pink, but now he is back. Serge Caule, contested for a moment by Horikoshi, or Fitz Arboleda rather. And now back to Banzon. Junior Sam offering a bit of pressure, joined by Serge Caule as the two foreign players for Mendiola this afternoon. Whistle is blown. An action-packed opening minutes for both Kaya and Mendiola. And if you're Mendiola FC 1991, perhaps synonymous to scoring for your squad is Aaron Altiche, one of the super subs. Well, unfortunately, he is not part of the roster for Mendiola FC 1991. We spoke with their team officials. He is going to sit it out until perhaps the Copa Paulino Alcantara later this year. As a bit of a volley there, contact between, I believe, Menzi and Junior Sam. Menzi, of course, the defender, and Junior Sam, the Cameroonian national. And that unfolded just outside the penalty box, right there in the middle. It's going to be a set piece for Mendiola. Good opportunity in the first few minutes for the brave men in black and red. Kaya will offer some resistance. We see about 5 or 6 players building that wall, as it is going to be Ashley Flores, the captain, to try and evade that wall, try to break the resistance, and perhaps try to shock Kaya FC-Iloilo early on. Zach Banzon right there in between the sticks, offering instructions to his teammates. Whistle is given, and that bounces off. Tracked down by Kaya FC right away. Janjan Meliza coming off that national team call-up not 2 months ago. Ball intended for Horikoshi. Bit of a dangerous collision that time, as Meliza just able to dispossess the opponent, and now Menzi sends a through ball. Collision up front. Recovered well by Nano Amita. Putting some air onto that, and the whistle is blown. Bech Gandom caught holding the defender, and it's going to be possession won back by Mendiola FC 1991. Boy, we are just getting started here, and the action already picking up as Asong sends it back into play. 0-0 battle so far in the first few minutes of this contest. And Arboleda unable to track it back down. Junior Sam deep into the right flank. Marco Casambre offering the challenge and does a good job at that, as Kaya will once again get control of the possession. The Fitch Arboleda right there. We spoke with Yu Hoshide, and he's been telling us about the 4-1-4-1 formation. So don't be surprised if Kaya has a more offensive approach to this game, and then they'll just mix it up from the midfield and the back line, as Junior Sam bearing the brunt of that. Holding on doon sa kanyang tagiliran, perhaps a hard challenge Junior Sam still down. Referee calling the attention of Mendiola's medical personnel. That looked like a hard challenge on the part of Kaya's defense. And Junior Sam, well, we know how tough he is. For him to be in a position like this means strong contact has been made. Elsewhere, we also see Jan Meliza getting his right wrist taped, perhaps for just precautionary measure. And now Junior Sam back up on his feet. Just trying to shake it off. We mentioned how tough he is. But for now, he will have to go out. Momentarily down to 10 men. On the follow-up, it just goes above the bar. As Junior Sam makes his way back inside the pitch. Opening try for Mendiola FC. They send it inside the box. Quite a busy area. And then on the follow-up, the volley was just above and out. It's been an encouraging opening chapter for Mendiola so far. Kaya FC, they have not made their runs. Nano Amita retrieves it. Now sends it inside, but straight into the hands of Mike Asong. He tried to target Bech Gandom that time around, but couldn't connect. Flores, Sam once again. The through ball, too much mustard on that one. Had the right intention, and he acknowledges the error right away. He tried to pull off a 1-2 in the midfield and send it forward. Arboleda, Casambre. A bit of a miscommunication as well there. Casambre and Menzi. Sinubukang habulin one of the midfield players, pero it was too late. Mardiano playing from the midfield a little bit. Captured by Zach Banzon. Might have been rushed there for Mendiola FC, but again, it's good to see them on the offensive as well. Trying to attack early on. About 10 minutes have gone by here in the first half. And so far, it is 0-0 between Mendiola and the visiting Kaya side. Milan defended quite well. Nobiraki, one of the other foreign players here, Dylan Spencer Nobiraki, player number 6 for Kaya. As the whistle's blown. Taken quickly. They send it to perhaps Daiso. But Amir Aningalan was there. Kaule. Payosalan. That is a mishit for sure. They sent a long one. Although too long. Retrieved anyway by Eric Giganto, and flag is raised. That it was too obvious to call. Eric Giganto taken down, so it's going to be a free kick for Kaya. Down there in the right flank, just outside the box. Well, this will be a good attempt for them. Eric Giganto creating the chance. And now it's a matter of execution. Only 2 men for Mendiola offering resistance. They lob it inside. But off-balanced was Nobiraki. Tsukaule against numbers here. It's 4-on-2. The through ball. But whistle was blown anyway. Offside call. That was pretty obvious. But if you're Mendiola FC, you can live with those. Just the effort there to try and challenge Kaya FC-Iloilo from a counter. Casambre. Arboleda. Daizo asking for it. They send it to Mileza against 2. And cleared by Louis Joshua Polinag. Again, we thank you all for joining us on this Sunday afternoon. Mendiola FC 1991 and Kaya FC-Iloilo. Arboleda lobs one inside, but connection to Giganto. Too much power and elevation on the ball. It's been 50-50 so far in terms of the possession and chances created for both Mendiola and Kaya. Kaya arguably short-handed, coming off a loss against Cebu last week at home. Something Yu Hoshide described as disappointing. Back and forth we go in this opening half. Evading the defender, Mendiola, although Junior Sam wasn't in the ideal spot. And now Giganto will make a run. Here come Kaya FC-Iloilo. And Mike Asong makes the denial. And that is something you can definitely expect to be called. Someone from Kaya FC is down. And of course, Mike Asong, after he caught the ball, a couple of Kaya FC players making brush contact. So you have to give the goalkeeper an opportunity to send it back in play. Nobiraki seems okay. And now Mike Asong. Taken short. Some pressure now for Kaya. Again, we mentioned that they've just loaded the front line with 4 forwards. That's the approach they're taking this afternoon. "15 minutes into this contest, we've seen a couple of crosses from Mendiola, a couple of tries as well from Kaya, as we see Junior Sam once again taken down. It's going to be that kind of an afternoon for him as he tries to create chances for his teammates. Oh, that's who he is. From a few yards out of the box for Kaya, of Kaya rather, Mendiola FC once again with this chance presented in front of them. There is the signal given inside the box. And Zach Banzon. This could be a counter-attack for Kaya FC, and someone's been tripped. That was Daizo Horikoshi. And now Serge Kaule, furious as he approaches our first referee, Raymar De Los Santos. He's been booked. Looks like Peter John Banaynal has been assessed a yellow card here for his hard challenge. And now Serge Kaule So he has to watch it. Giving our referee a mouthful. He's also been booked a yellow card. So Serge Kaule, player number 19, as you can see on your screens. And also earlier, after tripping Daizu Horikoshi, player number 14, Peter Jan Banaynal for Mendiola. So 2 players booked by our referee, given yellow cards. And now Kaya will restart the attack here. That's the moment before that, but Zach Banzon able to poke it away. No solid connection made by Mendiola on the set piece. They go long, but Mendiola's backline establishing themselves. Meleza goes across to Daizu, who has lots of room. But Kaule able to retrieve. And now it is Amir Aningalan. Menzi. Audi Menzi sends it to the right. Trying to go for the 1-2. That is Milan. And an obvious challenge will be called. Yellow card assessed as well for Dylan Nobiraki. One of Kaya FC's 4 Asian imports or players. Yu Oshide and the management opting for an all-Asian lineup. It's been quite the reshuffling for Kaya FC-Iloilo during the transfer window, during the break. No more Patrick Arthur, Carlisle Mitchell, Rio Fuji also one of the more memorable players here for Kaya. They have reshuffled that roster. Excellent through ball, but Junior Sam couldn't time it well. Kaule had the right thing in mind, but Junior Sam was just offside. Could have been the perfect chance for Mendiola to go one-on-one against the keeper. Meleza. Play on, says the referee. Mendiola, they don't have the numbers. They lose control right away. Meleza. Quite a busy area the midfield is, but now Meleza using the speed, accelerating. Meleza still, but loses possession. You can sense the frustration on his part. 20 minutes have gone by here in the first half. You're still watching Mendiola FC 1991 going up against Kaya FC Iloilo. Here from the City of Imus Grandstand, it's Levi Verora on the call. It's been a while since we've last been here in Cavite. A beautiful artificial pitch here in Imus Cavite, the home ground of Mendiola FC 1991, the Los Valientes Hios de Mendiola, the brave men. 6 points so far, 2 wins, both against Maharlika Manila FC. 6 points for Mendiola. Now, they would like to add more to that. So far, so good. Fitch Arboleda. We spoke with Serge Kaule earlier. He said this might be a good time to catch Kaya as coming off a loss. Perhaps the confidence level is down. Excellent through ball, but the defense was present on the follow-up, and no more. It's sent clear. Casambre, Arboleda, and now to Franco de la Torre. Mendiola, they're trying to string together a couple of passes from midfield up front, and now Daizo waits for that ball ever so elegantly. Still Daizo, the connection. Tapped away. Almost, but not quite for Kaya FC Iloilo. Best chance they've had so far. Daizo Horikoshi, the league's leading assists man with 8 assists. Dishes 1 from the left. But on the connection with Milan Begandom, does not work just yet. It is 0-0 still. He sent it to Daiso once again. A flag is raised. It did look offside to us. Daiso Horikoshi acknowledges just a case of bad timing from Daiso. Casambre utilizing that height as someone's been tackled once again. Nano Amita from behind. Well, he got the body instead of the ball. Jemson Cristal. Well, you remember Cristal for that rocket of a goal that he scored in the first half of the season against Dynamic Herb Cebu when they played here at home. And noticeably, Jemson Cristal, wala nang kulay yung buhok niya. We've been so accustomed to Jemson Cristal sporting the blonde hair as Daiso sends it to the opposite side. Kaya on the cross. No follow-up. And we're surprised as now Mendiola will try to look to counter. Sam to De La Torre. And now Serge Caule. Nano Amita might have gotten away with something here. It was Chols Villarino. Serge Caule is in lots of pain right now. We hope it's nothing serious as medical attention is here. "24 minutes, we are just halfway into the first half. Serge Caule now back up on his feet. If you're just joining us, Mendiola FC 1991 and Kaya FC-Iloilo. It's been an action-packed first half. Several opportunities for both. Well, play has to resume here. I have a couple of Mendiola FC players rehydrating, but it's causing too much of a lull now. Whistle's been blown. They have to play this out. And now we're back. They send it to Mike Asong first. Obviously the best decision. And now more pressure, more aggressiveness from Kaya FC. We have noticed that in the last 5 minutes. Asarboleda, and now a golden chance for Mendiola. The back pass. Caule unable to fire one. And now Kaya, they have perhaps recovered here. And a goal kick. That was a missed opportunity, and as our referee signals for time. A rehydration break here for both sides in the 25th minute. We're given one opportunity to do that throughout the match. Another case of too much patience for Mendiola FC 1991. Perfect recovery, and then Serge Caule inside the box, dancing against two defenders. But just those few seconds of being tentative was able, or Kaya was able to recover and prevent further trouble. As encouraging as that may be for Mendiola FC 1991. Glad to have you join us once again. Thank you very much for tuning in to our Facebook and YouTube platforms. This is the live broadcast of Mendiola FC 1991 and Kaya FC-Iloilo. Levi Verora on the call. It is still even Steven so far between Kaya and Mendiola. A bit of a confusion here as Mendiola, they were unprepared. They had to rush back to their formation. Goal kick, of course, for Kaya to restart the action. Arboleda. A through ball given for Amita. The defense has re-established for Mendiola. Nobiraki. Kaule. Sam, he will have to turn quickly. But Casambre was right there. Just a big blockage. Ito si Marco Casambre. Horikoshi, one-on-one. Good defending from Mendiola as Kaule will send it forward, but look at the recovery for Kaya. If anything, that 4-1-4-1 formation has given Mendiola some difficulties advancing. Although now, on the connection, well, the play is not over yet. Mendiola, they can capitalize right here. And finally, Menzi sends it outside into a potential counter, perhaps recovered by Mendiola. Sam is offside, and that will end that stretch for Mendiola as they have once again put pressure on the league leaders. No conversions whatsoever. But you have got to love those build-up plays for Mendiola. You can sense how they're trying to seize the control of this match so far. And Kaya FC-Iloilo, on the other hand, looking quite tentative. But here they are now. Melisa. And a goal kick. No contact from the defending side. Mike Asong to send it back to the action. Interesting sequence we've seen in the last 2 minutes. Mendiola FC again creating that opening, although on the cross, just unable to make that solid connection. We are close to our half-hour mark, 30 minutes into this match. Neither side, as that was poked away by Mike Asong. Testy moment for Mike Asong. You have to play with the weather conditions here. Another lob inside the box. Retrieved by Daiso. Look at that display of skill. But Mendiola will not be left behind. Defense has been solid so far as Casambre sending a wild one as he tries to stop Junior Sam. Arboleda and Franco de la Torre. And Franco de la Torre, mukhang siya ang natawagan dito on the holding. The shoulder perhaps of Fitch Arboleda. 30 minutes have elapsed, and we are yet to see that ball find the back of the net. Casambre to Menzi. Send it to the right once again. The cross, and it's been just compact and tight for Mendiola FC. That back line, as well as the midfield, just knowing when to drop. And then they have quite the luxury of Junior Sam and Serge Kaule just rushing forward should there be some counter-attack opportunities just like this one. Opting for the ground was Aningalan, but too much traffic as that ball was met. Nobiraki. A play on, says the referee. Daiso momentarily. Hitting the pitch. And now Asong will roll it over to his teammate. Cristal. As that ball just ping-pongs. And back to Dylan Nobiraki. Could be a chance here for Kaya's Daiso. Mike Asong. Flag stays down. Good decision on the part of Asong to rush forward, come out of his area, and dive onto that ball. Keeping the equilibrium right now as it stands. It is still 0-0 between Mendiola and Kaya FC-Iloilo. Amita. Kaya will keep possession. Amita will hand it over to Arboleda instead, who will do the honors. And now Horikoshi. Oh, look at that 1-2. But an equally glorious challenge offered by Mendiola. As Amir Aningalan, we spoke with one of their substitutes, Teddy Travis, our good friend. And he said Mendiola has brought more collegiate players to their roster, particularly from the NCAA, San Beda University, Arellano University, just to fortify their roster. And so far it looks like they've given and they have provided quite the impact for their side. You wouldn't believe this is perhaps the first corner kick of the match. And once again, Mike Asong targeting the captain, Jim Ashley Flores. But no numbers here for Mendiola. As we have about a dozen minutes remaining in the first half. Play on, says the referee. This could be not quite for Kaya, as Milan tried to sneak one in past the midst of Asong. And Asong will not be denied this time. He is joined by Mark Pellejo, the substitute. Joseph Siniza, still part of the Mendiola roster as well. So they have 3 able goalkeepers for the second half of this competition. Of course, don't miss the Copa Paulinho Alcantara kicking off this summer. We are expanding to 16 teams. That offers us a good look at the best of the best. As it is now Daiso inside the box, weaving past the defender, sends one. Will he be able to turn? Eric Giganto. Quite the recovery here for Mendiola, but it is going to be another corner to be taken by Kaya from the opposite side this time, and it's going to be Jan Meleza to deliver. Casambre and Arboleda, they've stayed behind. Everyone else is inside the box, with Nano Amita also close. Good spin to that one. The header, no power, and once again, that has to be at least a warning. Instead, it's a yellow card for Milan Begandom. We were expecting at least a warning would have sufficed. But now player number 24 for Kaya FC-Iloilo has been booked. Again, you have to give the goalkeeper a bit of leverage after he has made a stop. Now Mike Asong to send this one in. Polinag. Asong to the other side. That's a bit of pressure here offered by Milan. That's the luxury of the 4-1-4-1 formation from Kaya and Coach Yu Hoshide. Payosalan. Play on, says the referee. Perhaps advantage inside the box. Zach Banson. Oh my goodness. Mistimed that one perhaps. Could have been the worst result. They are fortunate not to have conceded one at that time. Corner kick for Mendiola coming in just a few moments. "38 minutes into this match. Kenneth Payosalan from San Beda to deliver this one. Oh, too low. That was too low of an angle. And now perhaps a counter for Kaya. They have three defenders as well. Nano to Melissa. Good defending from Mendiola once again. Joshua Louis Polinag on the other side of the pitch. Nagmamadali ang Mendiola. They want to pull off some counters. They have to be more patient than that. Find the right balance after they have won possession back. Speaking of the pitch, the weather condition here inside the City of Imus Grandstand, it is sunny with minimal winds. Kaya from the middle. Mike Asong saves that one. A rocket from the outside. Mike Asong reacting right in time to preserve our current scoreline, which is 0-0. It looks like Mike Asong will need some assistance after colliding with Milan. Mike Asong still down momentarily. Some players have also taken this frame to just rehydrate. As we approach the 41st minute of the first half, about 4 more plus added time. Again, this is Mendiola FC 1991 in red and black, the familiar colorway for their uniforms, and of course Kaya FC-Iloilo, the visitors, trying to recover from that slim 3-2 defeat against Dynamic Herb Cebu last week at home. And so far, it's been quite the first half for both sides. It's been action-filled as Mike Asong will send this one into play. Josh Polinag, not enough power that time to meet the ball. And now Daizo, a chance here for Kaya, and that is the opening goal. Daizo Horikoshi strikes first here in Imus. Daizo Horikoshi is now the leading goal scorer of the Philippines Football League, brought to you by Qatar Airways. Taking advantage of that miscue on Josh Polinag's pass. And he took the matter into his own hands. Slots one in. Great placement. Left bottom corner. And Kaya is up 1-0. Just when we were talking about how tight this game has been so far, Daiso Horikoshi, you saw it. Josh Polinag. The speed on that pass. Another one could be back-to-back. Eric Giganto, a sorry miss. Could have doubled the lead in the span of a few seconds. Barely missed it by a few inches above the crossbar on another errant pass, as if it were deja vu. If you're Mendiola, the passing here has to be more efficient and on point. The speed of that ball, of course, twice now on successive occasions. And they are fortunate to have just conceded 1 goal. Daiso Horikoshi will hike his total up to 8 goals. Same number of assists. And now Kaya is on the offensive once again. Jan Melissa gives it to his right. Mike Asong deflects this one on the rebound. Horikoshi, a second serving, and now a recovery made by Mendiola. Horikoshi changes direction. Eggs his teammates to come forward as well. More pressure here as Kaule will make the denial. And whistle is blown. Was that inside or out? A dangerous spot here for Mendiola FC 1991 as Daiso. Well, this is his favorite spot throughout the course of this tournament. Throughout the course of the league, Daiso Horikoshi, and now he will just use those eagle eyes to survey the field and perhaps deliver another assist. 3 players for Mendiola offering resistance right now as they form that 3-man wall. Just awaiting the signal of our referee. Here it is. Daiso will be recovered by Kaya for now. Is sent away and clear. But Arboleda was there. And now Nano. Giganto. The cutback, but there was nobody home. And now Sam. In the last 5 minutes or so, we've seen Mendiola perhaps rattled by Kaya's offensive juggernaut. And they have relinquished the 0-0 scoreline early on. Arboleda. Milan. To Daiso, he is onside. They have the numbers somehow. Daiso switches direction, and now there is no resistance between him and Milan. Had the opening. Just not the perfect finish. Could have rounded that one a bit more, as it was just Milan against Michael Aso on the delivery once again by Daiso. In just a few minutes, we will be given the signal by our fourth official as to how much added time there will be. There have been a couple of stoppages throughout the course of the first half. Asong, a long one. And they scramble in the midfield. We have not seen the ball cross the right side of your screens for the last 5 minutes or so. And now maybe this will be the time. Kaule to Sam. Fitch Arboleda retrieves. And it's going to be possession for Mendiola. At the very least, no corners conceded by Kaya. No numbers for Mendiola. And the flag's been raised, even as Banzon collects offside call before that. If you're just joining us, it was Daizu Horikoshi who scored the opening goal for Kaya FC-Iloilo to give them an ever so slight 1-0 cushion here in the first half as Junior Sam tries to make the connection with Kaule. But Kaya has fallen back defensively. Kaule lobs it inside. Casambre, or Menzi rather, was there, and now Asong. Again, we're just waiting for confirmation from our fourth official. And you can see the frustration on the part of Mendiola's coaching staff. That's the aspect of their game that we've been mentioning throughout. Meron lang silang penchant. And that is the halftime whistle, apparently, as it is 1-0 for the visiting team. Kaya FC-Iloilo 1 and Mendiola FC 1991 0. A late first half scoring opportunity for Daizu Horikoshi that gives them the 1-0 lead. We'll be back for more. This is your PFL brought to you by Qatar Airways. As we welcome you back here inside the City of Imus Grandstand, Mendiola FC 1991 with a 1-0 cushion here to overcome. It's been quite the deficit for them, but at the same time, you have to be encouraged to just be down 1 goal against Kaya FC-Iloilo, the title favorites as it stands, both pundits and perhaps the league itself, the players, the coaches, the management, and a lot more, recognizing the fact that as it stands, Kaya FC is quite favored to win the crown. Moments away from the start of the second half. Once again, Mendiola FC 1991 and Kaya FC-Iloilo coming to you live from the City of Imus Grandstand here in Cavite. As the sun continues to set here, 1 goal lead for Kaya. We're about to resume the action. It's Levi Verora on the call. Thanks for joining us via our Facebook and YouTube platforms. This is the Philippines Football League brought to you by Qatar Airways. Second half of the league. We have the 3rd and 4th rounds. And over at Binyan as we begin the second half, Mendiola FC 1991 now playing right to left. Looking to start strong here, but Mar Diano with the denial. In Binyan, Laguna, it is Dynamic Herb Cebu FC with a 1-0 advantage over Stallion Laguna FC, the home team. So just a 1-goal advantage as well for Cebu as they try to inch closer. The second running Dynamic Herb Cebu FC against, of course, the league-leading Kaya FC-Iloilo. 6 points differential between Kaya and Cebu. It is still Banzon makes the recovery here as Junior Sam leaves it for Kenneth Payosalan. Good setup by Sam. I think we saw from the last 10 minutes of the first half just how tentative Mendiola looked, especially that midfield. Missing the presence of one of their other returnees, Hamed Hajimedi, the Persian king himself, has made his way back to Mendiola, although still not suiting up owing to his injury sustained earlier in the season. It would be nice to see Hajimedi back in Mendiola red and black. Now Kaya FC with possession early in the second half. They would want to add more to that 1-0 advantage. No changes for either team. Asong, an excellent first half for him overall, in spite of the fact that, of course, Daizo Horikoshi delivered on that opening goal. If you're just joining us, it was the Japanese national, Daizo Horikoshi, once again opening things up here, scoring in the 38th minute and giving Kaya the advantage that they have right now. Just a 1-0 cushion for the men in yellow and white. Sam. Amita sends it forward, but again, Mendiola, as far as the defense is concerned, they've been pretty decent. If you will remember, well, if you guys will rewind this video once it's done, the goal scored by Daizo Horikoshi came off an errant pass from Mendiola, just the improper speed, and that was all it took for Daizo Horikoshi to score. After that, Eric Giganto had another golden chance as well. Asong to Cristal. Flores and Sam. Flag stays down somehow. Sam inside the box. Amita dispossessed. Whistle finally blown. And Amita again contesting with our first official. Hawak raw. Play on, although eventually whistle was blown. It's going to be Mendiola possession. Cristal will do the honors. Inside the box. Too much power. That's one of the tidbits we have been talking about earlier in the first half. Mendiola, they're right there giving it to Kaya FC. Although sometimes quite tentative, sometimes nagmamadali. But overall, you saw the potential. And it was just 2 errors that allowed them to concede that goal. And now Kaule will recover. (1-0) so far for the league leaders. Kaya FC-Iloilo, of course, coming off a slim 3-2 defeat against Dynamic Herb Cebu FC. They are more than happy to be able to recover. We have not yet seen the likes of Harvey Gayoso, Marvin Angeles, Jovin Bedic, as well as Kenry Balobo, the substitute shot stopper for Kaya. Coach Yu Hoshide told us that Marvin Angeles might not see action, although he is technically part of the substitute list, listed as available. As Melisa, a foul by Payusalan. Is taking a precautionary measure here. That is why Marvin Angeles, if you are expecting or looking for him to enter the pitch anytime soon, it's a precautionary move here. Technically, he is not injured, but of course, kapag may iniinda, it's best to perhaps sit it out. Meanwhile, a set piece here for Kaya FC-Iloilo. Janjan Melisa. 3 men forming that Mendiola wall to try and distract what Melisa has in mind. Daizo also there. Looks like it's going to be Daizo. We'll see as Melisa will offer some distraction. Sends it straight into the goal. It goes wide on the left-footed attempt for Janjan Melisa. Player number 13 for Kaya FC-Iloilo, Jesus Joaquin Melisa, part of the Philippine Ascals roster which saw action in the AFF Mitsubishi Electric Cup 2022 last December. One of the many players from Kaya who were called up for national team duty. Recovered by Audi Menzi. It will stay with Mendiola. Flores turns. It's going to be a corner. Good effort on the part of the team captain. Jesus Melisa, or Janjan Melisa, spiraling out of control in a desperate attempt to at least go toe-to-toe. This is only the second corner, I think, for Mendiola as well. We haven't seen that many corner kicks for either side. Kaya also having just about 2 or 3 throughout the course of this contest. And now Kenneth Payosalan. Better elevation on that one. Kaule unable to track it down. It will go back to Kaya FC-Iloilo. "54 minutes have elapsed. 9 minutes here in the second half. We can expect the pace to pick up anytime soon. The way this match started as a sliding tackle, that will definitely merit something here. As Daiso Horikoshi was taken down. And another yellow card raised by our first official. Raymart De Los Santos taking care of business alongside Paul Galicia and Ryan Flores, the two assistant referees. Fourth official is John Mike Basinang. Referee assessor Alan Martinez. And your match commissioner is Mark Ian Baldo. 1-0 so far for Kaya against Mendiola. Over in Binyan, Laguna, it is also 1-0 for Dynamic Herb Cebu FC. So both the number 1 and number 2 ranked teams so far in the league looking good in their matches this Sunday, part of your Sunday doubleheader. And a good-sized crowd here inside the City of Imus Grandstand. We've seen a handful of children just excited to see football and reacting to every highlight so far. And that's what you love about growing the sport here outside of Metro Manila. In Cavite, you have Mendiola FC 1991. In Laguna, you have Stallion. Of course, Batangas and Rizal both have their own programs as well. Quezon province as well. And whistle finally blown as Payosalan and Amita get tangled up. A set piece awarded to Kaya FC-Iloilo. It's going to be Melisa, as that ball is on the right flank. And of course, Melisa shoots left. The header is wide for Milan Begandom. He has been looking for the conversion. Elevated to the starting lineup. The Iranian national Milan Begandom made his debut last week against Cebu as a substitute. Also celebrated his birthday 5 days ago. So a belated happy birthday to you, Milan. And he must be enjoying the time here against, or being part of Kaya as they go up against the competition here in the PFL. Brought to you by Qatar Airways. It's still Kaya with possession to Milan once again. But Crestal was there. And now will have no choice but to send it out. At the very least, not conceding a corner is Mendiola FC 1991. Sun continues to set here inside the City of Imus Grandstand. To the middle once again, Daiso, but using his off foot, and he and Milan just laughing it out. Looks like, well, it looked like they knew what happened. But we know Kaya, we know they're driven to win the title. Comic relief will not cut it out for them. It is still 1-0. Kaole. And now Mendiola, as that one deflects off the body of Melisa. Still in play, the cross. Casambre, Menzi concedes a corner. Apologizes right away to Zach Banzon, as it's going to be, of course, some pressure on the part of the keeper. Speaking of goalkeepers, Quincy Camerad, of course, out on loan to the Ascals development team. as they gear up for the Southeast Asian Games in Cambodia. Meanwhile, a corner once again for Mendiola on the left side of things. And too low once again on the delivery as Daiso Horikoshi and Amir Aningalan, player number 5. Taken down was Daiso Horikoshi. Nothing intentional at all on the part of Aningalan, one of the defenders here for Mendiola FC 1991. And Daiso shaking up the league leading scorer, the league leading assists man. 8 goals, 8 assists so far, as we are about to welcome a few changes here for Mendiola FC 1991. Eric Manlapas, player number 23, and Nicolai Abalos will enter the field here for Mendiola FC 1991. It's a brand new haircut for Eric Manlapas. We've been so accustomed to seeing him sport the long hair. He's got a brand new haircut right there. See if it translates to his game. Mike Asong had to come over and retrieve that one. Melisa, last minute, at the last minute saving possession for Kaya, but of course not much you can do on the cutback from that angle. Looks like Kaya has switched it up a little bit. Now playing 4-1-3-2. Just a slight change for them. More pressure now being offered by Mendiola as Junior Sam Diano Nano Casambre. Marco Casambre has been quite steady from the center back position. We have just passed the 1 hour mark, 62 minutes into this contest. Once again, coming to you live from our Facebook and YouTube platforms. Mendiola FC playing right to left in their traditional red and black against Kaya FC-Iloilo. Diano and Abalos. Caule threads the needle, but the equalizer will not arrive there just yet for Mendiola. Zach Panson makes the save. Excellent ball from Serge Caule, threading the needle to the captain, Jim Ashley Flores. But not enough. Zach Banzon makes the denial, and now he collects. Good effort on the part of Banzon. Melisa, could this be a counter? Melisa weaving, shoots it, and Jan Melisa will score. What a sequence, what a goal. Jan Melisa, Kaya FC double their lead against 3 Mendiola FC players. We thought he didn't have the numbers, but instead, Jan Melisa, as he acknowledges the crowd, as he waves to the Kaya FC fans here in attendance. What a shot that was. From outside the box, no less. Michael Asong himself just as perplexed. What a quality conversion from the Ascal. And it is now a more comfortable 2-0 cushion for Kaya FC-Iloilo. On the 63rd minute An incursion. And now an errant pass once again. Kaya, this time they have the numbers. Will they be able to execute? Nano Amita this time on another assist pass from Daiso Horikoshi. Back-to-back goals in a span of a minute for Kaya FC-Iloilo. Arnel Amita, they can celebrate for now as the floodgates have opened here. 3-0 for Kaya FC-Iloilo, just showing us why they are the league leaders. And two of those goals, again, coming from errant passes from Mendiola FC 1991. From the back line, from the final third. And Kaya FC, they have a way of making you pay from miscues like that. 3-0 advantage for the title favorites. Asong to Cristal. And look at Kaya go. They are just pressing right now, looking to seize the opportunity once again. Somehow ends with Kaule, but Casambre recovers right in time. Mendiola trying to give Kaya a taste of their own medicine from an errant pass. A good display of skill. Flag has been raised into a set piece for Mendiola deep into that right flank. But first, a couple of substitutions. And now Marvin Angeles will check in. Just a few moments ago, we discussed his condition, but well, it seems he's fair to go, given this 3-0 advantage that they have as well. Also, the other Horikoshi will check in. Taman Horikoshi, the brother of Daiso, will now be part of the 11 inside the pitch for Kaya FC-Iloilo. The way the ball is positioned right now, it's like a virtual corner for Mendiola FC 1991. Whistle is given, the go signal, but again, Casambre stands tall amidst the other players. Mileza, they still have the legs here, don't they? Kaya FC-Iloilo, Daiso tries to thread the needle. Might have opted for a looping cross that time around. Too much traffic, although it's been recovered. Ball just goes out. And Asong and Mendiola FC 1991 staring at this 3-0 deficit. As the clock continues to tick away here, 68 minutes. Just about 22 and more. Kaya maintaining the approach. Sends one to Kaule, but Odi Menzi right there. Look at just how efficiently Kaya recovers defensively, especially that back line. Junior Sam loses his balance. Targeting Eric Giganto. They've been wanting to give him a shot at this. Giganto to the box. But Daiso won't be there in time. Another substitution. It is Elwin Escosora. Player number 27. About to see action for Mendiola, the home side. as he replaces Razonable, player number 30, one of the defenders here for Mendiola FC. Eljan Razonable. A familiar surname, if you ask me. We have a Razonable in the women's football side of things. That is, of course, one of the players in the UAAP who also saw action. Ooh! And on the bicycle attempt by Flores, he caught Tamon at a bad time. He had no malicious intent. Oh, he's going to be booked for that because of the impact, of course, of the gravity of the impact. Tamon Horikoshi was within his peripheral when Ashley Flores tried to attempt a bicycle, and that hit Tamon Horikoshi right on the face. Although he's back up on his feet. It's always good to see brothers playing in the same team or even in the same league. We have the Menzis, now the Horikoshis. Surge threads the needle, but Junior Sam again way ahead of the pack. And now our referee opting to call this hydration break for both sides. Again, you're permitted one each half. So long as they have played at least 20 minutes and change in either half. We are in the 72nd minute of this contest. And as it stands, looks like an impending win for Kaya FC-Iloilo. Yet again, that will increase their total to 33 points, 11 victories. Mendiola FC, such an inspired, motivated start that they had until the 40th minute when it all begun to favor Kaya's side. 6 points for them, two victories, both against Maharlika Manila FC. One at home, one in the PFF National Training Center. So 2 wins so far for Mendiola. And head coach Joseph Charles Villarino. Action resumes here with Kaya. Daiso leaving it, and it's not going to be a problem for Asong this time. Sends this one accurately to Junior Sam. Taman recovers. Melisa. Look at that control. Jan Melisa treating us to a show here inside the City of Imus Grandstand. Through ball intended for Tamon Horikoshi, the substitute. Didn't get there quite in time. Someone from Mendiola is nursing something that gives us the opportunity to see the entry of Joven Bedic, player number 7, who has replaced Eric Giganto. You've got to tip your hat to Eric Giganto as well. Although he did not convert, still just the presence, especially up front for Kaya FC-Iloilo, creating those dangerous moments. and challenging the defense of Mendiola. 74 minutes as the clock continues to wind down here in the second half. 16 minutes and change. An impending victory for Kaya FC-Iloilo. That will maintain the gap for them between, of course, the second running Dynamic Herb Cebu FC, which is trying to chase them. And of course, if Cebu manages to pull off the victory against Stallion Laguna FC, then it's looking as if it's a two-way race. Stallion Laguna FC, of course, not far behind technically. Jenson Cristal is given the attention that he needed. We can overhear their conversations from our position here. Looks like they need to tape his wrist for now. Oh, that's a better ball coming from one of the 4 reinforcements for Kaya, Dylan Nobiraki, player number 6, also from Japan. They have 3 Japanese players, as well as Milan, who is from Iran. Here's a good look at player number 6, Dylan Nobiraki. Better defense here from Mendiola, but just as I say that, this is a chance. Saved by Asong. Joven Bedik, who has just come on as a substitute, making immediate impact, challenging the mitts of Mike Asong in between the posts. And a corner earned by Kaya FC-Iloilo. Here in the 77th minute, they take it short, Daizo, from the opposite side. But Mendiola's defense is able to hold together. Daizo stays onside on the follow-up, and that should be the icing on the cake. A climactic finish here, looming for Kaya FC-Iloilo. It is Dylan Nobiraki on another dish, if it will count as an assist for Daizo Rikoshi. Leaving it off for Dylan Nobiraki, who slots in the 4th goal for Kaya FC-Iloilo against little resistance at all. Great connection between the 2 players, of course, both from Japanese origin. We spoke about how Kaya will never be satisfied with a 1-goal lead. And they have added 3 more here in the first half. Mendiola FC, you have to give it to them, but it seems that they have just unraveled here in the second half. The new look, Mendiola FC 1991, no more Aaron Altiche, at least for now. He might return in the Copa. Tamon Norikoshi, they're continuing to punish Mendiola, aren't they? Just the offensive firepower here as a couple of more substitutions. John Carlos, player number 21, and Teddy Travis, player number 6, about to come on in for Mendiola FC 1991. And these will be the final changes for Mendiola, as they have sent 5 substitutes in. Teddy Travis and John Carlos. Teddy Travis will try to provide a spark here. Listed as a midfielder, but has a penchant for attacking as well. a prolific scoring midfielder from the junior NCAA ranks. And of course, John Carlos as well. Junior Sam still part of the formation here. Meliza, too much speed on that ball, although he manages to keep possession to Kaya's side. Almost 80 minutes have gone by. Final 10 minutes and extra. Tamon, Milan. Bidik turns, threads the needle to Tamon. Recovery from Mendiola, but you can just hear the oohs and ahs from the crowd. The way Jovin Bidik knows how to facilitate, you have to be satisfied with that. Only Harvey Gayoso has not checked in, and of course Kenry Balobo, the substitute goalkeeper. Losing his balance, Bidik, as Meliza sends this one out. Not much he can do, and perhaps contact with Junior Sam. He just shakes it off. Nothing intentional on the part of Sam. Perhaps the forearm. Payusalan. Mardiano also steady from the back line. Mardiano. You have Marco Casambre earlier. Now Tamon Horikoshi. Audi Menzi. A bit of a confusion here as whistle was blown. Possession belonging to Kaya. But they won't allow them to take it quickly. Instead, they'll have to set everyone up. Considerable distance for Kaya to make something out of this. Meliza. And good defending that time around. Intercepting the path of the ball. Meliza. Bidik once again. They flick it over Angeles, and now Milan. But he will be called here. You can just sense how determined Milan Behgandom is to add to the tally, and of course himself have a good showing this afternoon. 82 minutes. Final 8 minutes in regulation time plus extra. Nobiraki. Travis. 4 different goal scorers for Kaya here. Daiso Rikoshi in the first half. Nano Amita, Jan Meliza, and finally Dylan Nobiraki. Just the balance here for Kaya as they continue to pour it on. They just have that extra gear. While you can sense the fatigue starting to set in for Mendiola. The Brave Men, they went back to training in late January. After, of course, the schedule was announced. 6 points for them. It will stay at that. They are just leading Maharlika Manila FC, which they were able to beat twice now. And Junior Sam, confused as well. Zach Banzon Also a marvelous display from him. A clean sheet impending for player number 1, who also wears the captain's armband for this afternoon for Kaya. Tamon doesn't make the first touch. Now he does. Too much power on the intended ball for Bidik. "85 minutes, down to our final 5. Bidik, for a moment, losing his footing. Nobiraki. The 1-2. Lots of space in the midfield for Kaya. And just as I say that, they're unable to make the most out of it. Tamon Horikoshi, the brother of Daizo, who is now the leading goal scorer with 8. Harvey Gayoso, of course, with 7. And when we say leading goal scorers, of course, Chima Uzoka and Arda Chinker are not part of the dynamic Herb Cebu roster anymore. Those two also dazzled us with their goal scoring ability. Arda Chinker back in Turkey, while Chima Uzoka, of course, choosing a different path as well. Dynamic Herb Cebu FC. Ball stays in play. Will this be it? Junior Sam could have been the consolation, but they won't get it. We have mentioned a lot about the reshuffling for some of the teams. Cebu, Kaya, even Mendiola and Stallion. Ascal's development team yesterday, they won against Maharlika Manila FC 4-1. Stefan Schrock coaching, opting not to play anymore. It is the transition for him as he embraces the full-time coaching role eventually. Stefan Schrock, a busy man he is, announcing his retirement from international football in December. Junior Sam. Teddy Travis, the intended recipient. They just couldn't agree with the distance. Good effort from Mendiola in the final few minutes of this contest. 3 more minutes plus added time. So if you're Mendiola, no more Abusi, one of the forwards for them. Hamed Hajimedi, of course, still recuperating from an injury but is part of the Mendiola lineup. They are also joined by another Iranian national, Mahdi Kekobadi. So those are their 4 foreign players. Aaron Altiche will rejoin the team most likely in the Copa. One of the super subs who have scored countless times for the Brave Men. In the meantime, they have fortified the roster with more collegiate players, particularly from the NCAA, Arellano University, San Beda. As whistle is blown here. Final few moments of this match. If you're Kaya FC, perhaps you are satisfied if you're coach Yu Hoshide with the reaction to that loss against Cebu last week. Junior Sam, whistles blown, flag is raised. It has been quite the dilemma for him. Always caught offside is Junior Sam, the Cameroonian national. Also winding down the action in Binyan, Laguna between Stallion Laguna FC and Dynamic Herb Cebu. Another attempt, but it will just be gathered calmly by Michael Asong. We will just await confirmation from our fourth official as another ball from Kaya, although the angle wasn't ideal. John Mike Basinang, our fourth official. Mendiola FC 1991 perhaps in these final few minutes will want to string together some good passes and have a build-up play to take home with them. Oh, it is now deadlocked in Binyan. 1-1 for Stallion Laguna and Dynamic Herb Cebu. If that scoreline stands, then they will split the points, and that means Kaya will increase its cushion against Dynamic Herb Cebu. 2 minutes of added time here. Once again, if you are just joining us, Kaya FC eventually opening the floodgates here with a 4-0 impending victory to bounce back as they visit Mendiola FC 1991 here in Imus, Cavite. Stallion Laguna fighting back as well with a 1-1 lead, or draw rather, so far, with a few minutes remaining in that contest in Binyan, Laguna. Meanwhile, as we wrap up this contest, again, we thank you all for joining us from our Facebook and YouTube platforms. This is the Philippines Football League brought to you by Qatar Airways. We have lots in store for you throughout the calendar year. The PFL, the PFF, Women's Cup and Leagues, of course. We have plans for the resumption of football at all levels. And the Filipinas, of course, the Trophy Tour, the FIFA Women's World Cup Trophy will be in Glorieta later this week. Might as well join us and a couple of Filipinas in attendance. That will be on Wednesday, March 1. In the afternoon, whistle is blown. But that final whistle will sound anytime soon. And Kaya FC-Iloilo will increase their total to 33 wins. It is now official, 33 points on 11 wins for Kaya FC-Iloilo. Daiso Horikoshi with the opening goal, followed by more incursions for Janjan Melisa, Nano Amita, and lastly, Dylan Nobiraki. A 4-0 commanding win for Kaya FC-Iloilo as we wind down the contest here from City of Imus in Cavite. We thank you all for joining us for this live and exclusive broadcast presentation. This is your Philippines Football League brought to you by Qatar Airways. And as we always say here, it's Levi Verora. Wherever you are, wherever you're from, we'll see you at the games.